If you've been following the world of football boots over the last 6 months, then you've probably noticed that Puma have been on a roll. Between the King Platinum, the Future Z, and the Ultra, not only do they have an incredibly strong lineup right now, but it's probably the strongest lineup they've had in the last 10 years. With that said, they still insist, like many of the big brands, on doing these weird, arguably unnecessary variants, and when I saw the latest round of Lazertouch Ultras and Futures, I wasn't all that excited. However, I am pleasantly surprised because the Puma Future Z 1.1 Lazertouch, while it doesn't look like much, it feels really good, and I would argue is even more comfortable than the standard Future Z. Not to mention it retails for the same $200 as the regular model, unlike Lazertouch Puma King Platinums, which bear a $50 premium. It's not a huge change over the regular Future Z, but considering there's no upcharge for the Lazertouch kangaroo leather upper, it's a really attractive option if you were already considering the Future Z in the first place, and it kind of makes me wonder how many pros wearing the Future Z have had this modification from day one, but because it's such a subtle difference, you wouldn't even be able to see it. Nonetheless, these are a very pleasant surprise and arguably the most comfortable top-end model from the big three brands right now. I want to talk about why that is in today's video, go over all the tech specs, point out exactly what's different from the regular Future Z, as well as of course take a look at how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire review. And if you're interested in a pair of Lazertouch Future Zs for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal retail price. Oh, and by the way, today's video is brought to you by Curex insoles. I reviewed their Cleat Pro insoles almost 3 years ago and have used them exclusively ever since. The only issue has been availability, but that has now changed, and I'm super happy to have partnered with Curex and also be able to offer SR4U fans a discount on their Cleat Pro insoles, which you can take advantage of by checking out the link in the description. If you find your football boots are lacking in comfort and especially in arch support, these Cleat Pro insoles will make a huge difference for you. It features their special flexible, low-profile arch support system that's actually available in high, medium, as well as low arch types, as well as in 6 different trim to fit sizes, so you can get the exact fit for your football boots because of the low profile design. They're also made out of super high quality materials that are going to be significantly nicer than the stock insoles that come in your boots, and also have these little rubberized grips in the heel, forefoot, and near the toe to prevent a little bit of extra slippage underneath your feet. So here is the regular version of the Future Z, and of course the Lazertouch version here in all black with some subtle white accents. What exactly is the difference? Well, from this point forward on the upper, the regular model features a knitted material, the Lazertouch model features thin kangaroo leather. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've criticized football boot brands for chopping off the front part of their upper and replacing it with kangaroo leather and calling that a leather upper variation, which effectively is what Puma have done here with the Future Z 1.1. However, the construction of this boot lends itself pretty well to them actually doing this, because you have your Fusion Fit Plus band in the middle, you have a seam at the back part where you have all of your heel materials, and then you have a seam in front of that Fusion Fit Plus band where you would normally have a knitted upper. They've replaced that piece with kangaroo leather, specifically their Lazertouch kangaroo leather. And if you're familiar with Puma's Lazertouch tech, it was originally introduced on the Puma King Platinum Lazertouch, which, like I mentioned, did bear a $50 premium and effectively had this laser etched texturing within a very thin kangaroo leather. You have what is more or less the same thing happening here on this Lazertouch Future Z. However, the texturing is extremely minor. If I were just feeling this boot with a blindfold on, I would guess that the upper was completely smooth. The pattern that you can see is quite visible. The texture that you can feel is almost non-existent. And in terms of grip on the ball, it has a matte finish. There's less grip than what you'll find with the regular Future model. And in general, it just feels like a super thin leather, very similar to what you're gonna find on the Puma King Platinum. Just like the King Platinum, this thin kangaroo leather kind of has that melty feel to it, which just means that it's super soft, very flexible, and just moves with your foot extremely well. And given that the concept of the Future Z is based around this Fusion Fit Plus band, which is basically an elasticated section of the upper that's designed to compress to the shape of your foot and then stretch with it as your foot bends and moves when you're running and just playing the game in general. The combination of the kangaroo leather with this Fusion Fit Plus band makes the already very natural feeling Future Z 1.1 feel that much more natural and that much more comfortable. And in terms of overall touch on the ball, the leather itself actually ends up being a little bit thinner than what you're gonna find from the regular Future Z. And overall, when comparing a sock-like upper to a kangaroo leather upper, I guess it's a personal preference thing, but I'm gonna pick kangaroo leather 9 out of 10 times. And in this particular situation, I think the feel for the ball through the toe box and forefoot area is just better on the Lazertouch version of the Future. But wait, what about the weight? We've pretty much been brainwashed by football boot brands at this point to believe that leather is always going to be lighter than knit or synthetic. In the case of the Future Z 1.1, however, that does seem to be true. I'm not exactly sure why though. I'm going to weigh both of these for you in real time in a size 9.5 US, starting with the regular full knit version of the Future Z. You can see that they weigh in at 7.7 ounces, the equivalent of 218 grams. Change the scale back to ounces and throw on the leather version of the boot, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.4 ounces, the equivalent of 238 grams. So you're talking about a 20 gram weight difference between the regular and Lazertouch variations of the boot. Is this one heavier? Yes. Is it a super noticeable amount of weight? I really don't think it is. And in terms of the trade-off in comfort, not to say that these are uncomfortable, because up until this point, I've really thought this is the most comfortable boot on the market. But for me, I'd take the extra 20 grams and go for the Lazertouch model if I'm the one wearing them. Other than that, everything else is the same. Like I mentioned earlier, the Fusion Fit Plus band is really the highlight of the Future Z, and it's what makes this boot fit so well and also feel so comfortable and natural on feet. It's just really complemented by the soft kangaroo leather here at the front. And of course, that goes along with the very unique lacing setup where you have this section through the midfoot free of any lacing points. You just end up with this big X across the top of the foot. So there's not a lot of pressure in terms of lockdown and being pushed into the boot by the laces, but you get the compression from the Fusion Fit band, and your lockdown's coming beneath and above the band itself, which does feel extremely good when you have the laces tied tight. Some people are also trying to wear these as laceless football boots. I don't think that's the best idea in the world, but if you have a pair, it's totally free to pull the laces out and wear them to see how you like the feel of that. As far as the rear of the boot is concerned, it's made up of a synthetic material around the heel area. You do miss out on some of the texturing that the regular model does have, but that's not something that's really going to impact performance in any noticeable way. Of course, you do have this elasticated knit material, kind of forming what looks like a little bit of a mid-cut collar, but this is very much a low-cut football boot if you ask me. Internally, the heel liner is a really soft microfiber material with some perforations running throughout. Decent amount of padding as well, feels really nice against the heel. And then the insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. And it features their nano grip liner, which has a little bit of kind of like a soft silicone feel to it. It's a little bit grippy against your socks, which is quite nice. And then it's made from a single layer of this black foam with yellow foam perforated inserts in both the heel, forefoot, and toe box area. Moving to the base of the boot, you're going to find the new sole plate and stud pattern for the Future model. Basically the first redesign since the line was first introduced. It features this kind of Z shape to the sole plate where it's kind of a split sole, but you have this connecting piece through the middle. It's kind of a stretch as far as the actual Z is concerned, but it feels quite good, a little bit lower profile than what we had before, and decent flexibility without feeling flimsy in any way at all. As far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's what they're branding as FGAG, although I definitely think, like a lot of FGAG stud patterns, that this is best suited for use on firm natural grass. Nonetheless, there's a focus here around kind of rotational movements and agility. This is Neymar's current signature boot, by the way. And you can see the studs themselves are kind of like this half circle. So you get this hybrid of a conical stud as well as a bladed stud, providing pretty decent bite when pushing off, but at the same time, that freedom to twist and pivot. Overall, it's a really nice stud pattern. I can't say that it compares too closely to anything else currently out there, but as a whole, it gets the job done and the performance feels up to a standard that you'd expect from a top-end football boot. So here they are on feet, and I know there's a lot of people who aren't crazy about blackout boots, but what I like about these in particular is that the white accents in the Fusion Fit Plus band, especially when they're on feet, it stretches the band a little bit and it reveals a little bit more of that white, which I think just gives the boot a very unique look. And I also have them paired up with some black Pure Grip Socks Pro to kind of fit the whole blackout vibe. For those that don't know, this is my own brand of grip socks, Pure Grip Socks Pro being the updated material variation of regular Pure Grip socks that are available right now in either black or white for just $16.99 a pair. A lot of people who have tried the Pro version as well as the regular version have really raved about how big of a difference there actually is. And if you're interested in trying some out for yourself, the website to visit is puregripsocks.com, which of course will be linked down below. Now, as far as how these fit and feel on feet, I think there's two noticeable differences when compared to the regular model. One is the softness of the kangaroo leather that you have through the toe box. It just feels softer and more flexible than what you're gonna find on the regular model, which is already a really comfortable boot, but these ones feel that much more comfortable. And I just love the way that they feel when your foot bends. It just moves so naturally in combination with that Fusion Fit Plus band. Second thing I really notice is that the leather itself, because it's just a softer material and doesn't really have that pre-molded shape, you just lower the volume in the toe box area ever so slightly, and the upper just hugs your foot a little bit closer than it normally would on the regular Future Z. So from a fit perspective through the toe box and forefoot, I think this is actually a nice improvement, although again, that's something that's gonna vary a lot from person to person, not just based on the shape of your foot, but also in regards to personal preference. But for me, the closer wrap of the upper against your foot not only just feels better, I think it also makes for a cleaner touch on the ball. As far as width is concerned, the Future Z has plenty of width to it. The Lazertouch version is no different. So even if you do have wider feet, this is one of those football boots that because of that band through the midfoot, it's gonna fit just about everybody. So that's something that's really great about this boot. And then as far as sizing is concerned, just like the regular model, the Lazertouch version runs about a quarter size large. So I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US. I have a little bit of extra space that I wouldn't normally have. Of course, it's leather. A lot of people think that going half a size down is always necessary. You could probably get away with that if the boots you're wearing already have a little bit of extra space. But I think for most people, including myself, going true to size is probably the way to go if you're interested in either the regular or Lazertouch versions of the Future Z. So in conclusion, this for me is the sleeper boot of 2021 in that I didn't expect much out of it. In fact, I expected to dislike it given how good the regular Future Z 1.1 already is, but this seems to improve upon it depending on what you're looking for from a feel perspective. I think that the kangaroo leather at the front, Lazertouch tech aside, because I really don't think that has any impact on the feel of this boot whatsoever, the kangaroo leather makes it feel softer, more natural, and more comfortable on feet. Not to mention, I think the slightly thinner touch on the ball just makes for better overall feel in general. And the fact that it doesn't cost more money than a regular Future Z is definitely a good thing as well. I think it's a bit of a shame that they're only going to release it likely in this one colorway, which for some people will be great. For a lot of people who like something a little bit more flashy, they're not going to go anywhere near pretty much completely blacked out boots. Overall though, it's a fantastic product, it's super comfortable, and I really hate giving football boots these titles, but I think that out of all the main boots on offer right now from Nike, Adidas, and Puma, this is the most comfortable one you can buy. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair for yourself, first link down below, go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.